Hey YouTube! It's Corri V here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Today I'm going to be giving my personal hacks for how to break in pointe shoes. So I guess this pointe shoe advice is more for people who are either with a company and you have a scarce amount of shoes, or students. So it's kind of like how to stretch your shoes for a longer period of time with less money. So I'm going to be using mesh elastic Bunheads, and those are $5. And I'm also going to be using stretch ribbons because I like them. And these are also $5. I will be sewing those onto my pointe shoes with dental floss, which is like 98 cents. So that's also really cheap. This is also kind of a tip, I guess. But if you have a weird color of hair and you don't have pins that match, you could just spray paint your pins. That's the original color, so I just spray painted them cinnamon. That's just kind of a tip if you want your pins to blend in. For everybody who doesn't know anything, I guess, about pointe shoes or ballet, maybe informal. And for everybody who does, maybe you might get some tips or tricks, but there's so many videos, you could just watch a bunch of different videos on how to sew on ribbons and elastics onto your pointe shoes. I'm not really gonna do that. I'm gonna sew these crisscross because I like crisscross. For everybody who doesn't know, I guess, about breaking in pointe shoes, you just kind of use a lighter so stuff doesn't fray. But you could use floss to sew under your pointe shoes, and you can use really thick thread. People usually use name brand thread, like Pillow for Points or Bunheads, Block, any kind of thread that's really strong. Or you could just use floss, and it's way cheaper. I think for a stitch kit it's roughly around $10, and that is opposed to just getting a large needle and just using floss. That's way cheaper. The elastics are sewn on. Another thing I like to do is break the shank. And the reason why dancers break the shank is because it gives them a nice little curve in the arch. Now, as an alternative to jet glue, which is $11, you can just use regular glue or shellac. This is shellac. It's amber shellac. It's not the right color, but it's fine. Regular super glue. And it's way cheaper than jet glue. And this I got for I think it was $1.90. Anyways, you can get these for really cheap, but this dries way slower, and it's way more globby than jet glue, so just something to keep in mind. But it does do the job. And you can get your glue and just reinforce it a little bit. With this one, you have to give it a little bit more time than you would jet glue, because jet glue dries super fast, and this one takes a little bit extra time to dry. So you want to just reinforce it a little bit where the shank is, or areas where it's going to give. And for people who are kind of in the student category, I wouldn't really recommend gluing your shoes a whole lot, because your shoes end up really hard. Not really for people who are kind of just getting on point, because it makes your shoe way too hard. So for the getting traction portion, I have this wire brush, which is $2, and I have this Angela Luzio. This is a pointe shoe rougher, and this is $12. So I'd be lying if I said that this is so much better than this. This really gets like wax off if you're trying to get like wax buildup off of your shoe, or traction. But this is kind of a little bit better. So I'm just going to use all the cheap stuff instead of using the $12 brush. Just so you can see, you can use a steel brush to kind of get a little bit of traction in there. I think these are more optimal if you want to scrape wax off or any buildup off of your shoes. So because I don't like the color of these, it's like a really peachy color, I'm going to pancake them, but I'm going to pancake them my way. So this is just calamine lotion. It's calamine lotion and a tiny bit of cornstarch. Cornstarch absorbs moisture, so you don't have to wet your shoes. So you just set like your calamine lotion and with a little bit of starch, mix it up, and then let it sit out overnight and it'll harden. Alright, see that? So that's what you get, calamine and just a pinch of cornstarch. Another thing is like makeup sponges. They're really good toe spacers, and they're like very cheap. This way they blend into your tights or whatever, because if you have really dark peachy point shoes and like light pink tights, it really sticks out. So voila, it's got a completely different color now, and it's not wetted at all. Some people like to wet right here on their point shoe, so just give a little bit with the glue. These aren't really gluey right here, and I don't really worry about that part a lot. A lot of people like to put Rossin on their shoes. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing with like using a lot of the products that are meant to be for point shoes. They tend to be a lot more expensive. Like jet glue is really expensive, and same thing with Rossin. Name brand Rossin tends to be really expensive. You can get a bag of like Bunheads Rossin for like, I don't know, $12, $15. I get like cubes of Rossin, and this is like violoncello Rossin. A lot of people don't know that you use, people use Rossin for soldering, for violin, cello, gymnastics, etc. You can buy like Rossin in bulk, or you can get like pieces like this. This piece was like 79 cents. I like to smash it with a pill cutter because it works. So you get one of these, and you kind of just break it out of the box. And then you get a little cube of Rossin. And this is my really, really ghetto small Rossin box. It cost me like virtually nothing to make. I made it off of scrap wood. And these are free. These are free paint stirrers. I cut them. The only thing that cost money really was like the wood glue. So just like to break it a little bit before I put it in there. And there you go. It's like 79-cent Rossin from a pill cutter. One of these like little bars of Rossin will like last you for a long time. So I order like maybe like 5 at a time, and it cost me like almost $5. Another thing is that if you, well, generally for a toe tape I use medical tape, micropore medical tape, but if you get anything like on your feet and you need some kind of bandages, some people use really expensive bandages. I don't really know how to pronounce this. Hydrocolloidal? Colloidal, whatever. I'm sure you can figure it out. But any of these bandages, they fit on your toes really well. They don't slip off. And this pack is like $6, which is way cheaper than a lot of the other bandages that you'll find. Is it recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So there you have it. They're perfectly new, perfectly shiny, and I really like the color. Point shoes is like one last thing I like to do. I know it's really weird, but like old dancers have like these weird little rituals that they like to do with their shoes, and I kind of like to spray Repetto on them. I know I don't like to like, I just said I don't like to spray liquid on my shoe, but it's like alcohol, so. I just like the way it smells for my shoes with Repetto. It's like one of the rituals I like to do and I like break them in. And there's like one other thing that I like to do, like while breaking my pointe shoes in, when they're like about perfect.